Coming up next, we're going to be changing gears, and we got something you're not going to believe.
Our levee system has failed. We need a lot of help.
Have now discovered 14 dead bodies at the Memorial Hospital in eastern New Orleans.
A family of 4 I saw drowned in their living rooms. They couldn't afford to evacuate. They didn't want to evacuate because they were afraid of looters coming into their homes. And they've been sitting rotting in their living rooms for the last 5 days.
We got the whole coastline destroyed. I'm out here starving.
The disastrous conditions that prevailed, that destroyed the infrastructure over an area the size of Great Britain.
I mean, you're talking about such a swath of a region here. It's just hard to listen to that and to have to talk about that, and no doubt it'll be never ending.
Don't tell me 40,000 people are coming here. They're not here. It's too doggone late. Now get off your asses and let's do something, and let's fix the biggest goddamn crisis in the history of this country.
The anger is just white hot. You can feel it. And every night we've been hearing politicians on television saying, you know, well, I understand your frustration. And a man came up to me the other day and said, you know what? We're not frustrated. People aren't frustrated here. People are dead.
They've had press conferences. I'm sick of the press conferences. For God's sakes, shut up and send us somebody.
Just take a pause, Mr. President.
How can it be that hundreds and hundreds of thousands of victims have not received any food and water more than 100 hours after Katrina hit?
Are you prepared for another hurricane in that region, or God forbid, a nuclear or biological attack, which we're told could happen at any time?
Sir, you're not telling me.
Those bodies that are there.
Sir, you're not telling me you just learned that the folks at the convention center didn't have food and water until today, are you?
The federal government did not even know about the convention center people until today.
Everybody who pays taxes watching me tonight and watching you tonight wants to make sure their dollars are not being wasted and going to cronies.
There was a body on the streets of this town yesterday being eaten by rats.
This is the first time I have seen that level of frustration and that anger reflected in the people asking the questions, in you guys, in the press corps. And I'm wondering, maybe because of this hurricane, we got our press corps back.
Everybody has been challenging every leader and every agency in this disaster because it's pathetic to see something like this happen in the United States and to see dead bodies still on the ground on American soil. It is absolutely pathetic.
People from the president to the former head of FEMA to the mayor to the governor were saying things that just didn't match the reality that a lot of the journalists were seeing on the ground, and they called them on it.
It doesn't do any good, Congressman, to say Bill Clinton did it every time we raise an issue.
And they have been taking on local, state, and federal officials in a way, an impassioned way that we have not seen in many years.
This is Thursday. This storm happened 5 days ago. It's a disgrace, and don't think the world isn't watching. This is the government the taxpayers are paying for, and it's fallen right flat on its face.
What you got here is thousands and thousands of people who have desperate needs 6 days later.
And all these people are simply waiting for these supplies. We've seen these kinds of images in Africa and elsewhere. We're seeing these images right here in the United States right now.
I'm joined right now by Alabama State Senator Hank Irwin. Senator, thank you for being with me tonight. Explain to me why you think that Katrina was God's wrath.
This is it. No sugarcoating, no political spin, no Republicans or Democrats. People suffering. Let them go. Let them out of here.
They won't let them walk out of there because I'm standing right above that convention center. And what they've done is they've locked them in there. The government said, you go here and you'll get help. Or you go in that Superdome and you'll get help. And they didn't get help. They got locked in there.
We have come through what may have been one of the worst weeks in America's history, a week in which government at every level failed the people it was created to serve. There is no purpose for government except to improve the lives of its citizens.
We should all be very, very concerned that 4 years after 9/11, with the formation of the Department of Homeland Security and that gobbling up FEMA, that this was the best they could do. I mean, what were they doing for 4 years?
Did bureaucracy commit murder here?
Absolutely it did.
There was a big squabble over who was going to have control.
They are like rival gangs, and it's disgusting.
I can't believe I'm in America.
The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
This is a story where you can actually see change happening the more questions you ask. And you're not just standing in a desert in the middle of nowhere, expressing outrage. People are actually listening. And if the world is watching this story.
It is not about Louisiana. It's not about Mississippi. It's about this whole region. It's about the country. It's about the world.